Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into a pretty big name in the digital fitness world, the MadMuscles app.
Right.
We've been comparing their marketing claims with a ton of user reviews, and it's a fascinating picture, almost like two different companies.
Exactly. And our mission here is to really get to the core of that. How can an app get the product so right, the fitness part, but then generate so much, user frustration over basics like billing and transparency?
Okay, so let's start with what actually works. Why are people even signing up?
Well, the promise is a truly tailored experience.
It's not just some random workout videos.
No, not at all. They take your goals, weight loss, muscle gain, whatever it is, and they build custom workout and nutrition plans based on your actual fitness level and, importantly, what equipment you have.
So it's actually useful from day one.
It is, and that customization is how they justify the price. The source material we looked at really highlights features like detailed nutrition guidance, progress tracking, motivational tools, all inside an interface that users seem to agree is very slick.
Very user-friendly.
Yeah, they clearly invested in the user experience side of things.
And getting started isn't a huge commitment financially. I think the source said a one-week trial is what, about $6 or $7?
Around 6.93 cents, yeah. And if you stick with it, the monthly plan is about $19.99.
Which seems pretty competitive for that level of personalization.
It is competitive.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this next part so strange. Because this is where the user feedback takes a really sharp turn.
Okay, here we go.
While the features get praise, the moment money gets involved, the whole back-end operation just seems to fall apart for a lot of people.
Wait, are we talking about recurring charges? Is this just a few people who maybe didn't read the fine print, or is this something bigger?
The feedback suggests it's a much wider issue, which, raises real questions about their service integrity. The complaints are overwhelmingly focused on financial and operational stuff. Things like unexpected recurring charges, users finding it incredibly difficult to cancel a subscription, and just major roadblocks when trying to get a refund.
So trying to stop a $20 charge becomes a whole ordeal.
That's what it sounds like. And the moment you need to talk to a person, you hit another wall.
Customer support.
Yeah. Users describe it as slow, sometimes totally unresponsive, or just unhelpful when they're trying to fix these really basic billing errors.
And that kind of failure has consequences for their reputation, obviously.
A major one. We have to be neutral here, but because of these alleged unauthorized charges and the difficulties with refunds, the source noted that some users have gone so far as to label the app with a very strong term.
They call it a scam.
They do.
Yeah.
And that word alone tells you just how deep the frustration runs with their business practices.
So what's the takeaway here for you, the listener? It's this paradox, right? An app with genuinely useful features for your fitness journey.
But it's completely undercut by what users report as, let's say, very problematic business practices and poor support.
The core insight is that a great workout plan is only as good as the company providing it.
Exactly. You have to weigh the utility of the features against these recurring, documented issues of service integrity. The advice from pretty much every source is clear. If you are considering it, you have to read the cancellation and auto-renewal terms like a lawyer.
For sure. Which leaves us with a final thought. Given that the personalized plans could actually work for you, how much responsibility should you, the consumer, have to hunt through the fine print?
Compared to the very loud, very appealing promise of getting quick fitness results.
That's the real gamble you're taking before you hit that subscribe button.